Welcome back. The UN Security Council has denounced the recent demolition of ancient religious symbols in northern Mali by radical Ansaruddin militants. The 15-member council has meanwhile failed to approve a French-backed resolution to sanction military intervention which has been suggested by ECOWAS and AU states. We have details in this report.
The United Nations has condemned the destruction of mausoleums by Islamists in the historical city of Timbuktu in northern Mali. The UN Security Council is concerned over the increase in kidnappings and the humanitarian situation in the region. On Thursday, the 15-nation council passed a resolution calling for sanctions against Islamist fighters in Mali.
Every hour that passes increases the risk of the political, humanitarian and security situation getting worse in Mali. There is desecration of holy shrines and World Heritage sites, the proliferation of arms, and an increasing number of terrorist groups and jihadists in the region.
The UN Security Council did not approve military intervention in Mali, as ECOWAS and the African Union had suggested. France, who proposed the resolution calling for sanctions, said there was not a unified approach right now for foreign intervention. France has called on all countries in the region to cooperate and fight against al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb. French President François Hollande met with Gabonese President Ali Bongo Ondimba in Paris on Thursday. Ondimba said that any foreign military intervention must be the last resort.
In the last resort, this is an option that should be examined. It will be unfortunate if we take that course of action. Each of us are considering what our contribution can be to put this country back on track and to re-establish calm, stability and peace.
For countries in the region, the priority is to restore the legitimate government in Bamako. They're also calling for Mali's army to be restructured and given training.
The Speaker of Ivory Coast National Assembly says his country is on the right path to achieving meaningful development. Guillaume Soro was speaking to journalists during a visit to Paris. Asked if he harbors any ambition to become president of the cocoa-producing country, Soro replied in the negative. Let's look at this report for more on that.
The Speaker of Côte d'Ivoire's Parliament, Guillaume Soro, talks about developments in his country during a visit to Paris. Soro says a lot has been achieved since the end of the conflict at the end of last year. Parliamentary elections were organized in record time and a reconciliation committee has been established in an effort to heal the wounds left by the civil war.
The government and the Prime Minister are all working closely together to bring security in the West. In fact, various reforms on security policy are about to be introduced.
With the ousted Ivorian leader Laurent Gbagbo awaiting trial in The Hague, Soro insists legal instruments are functioning correctly. Critics have suggested some on the winning side in the conflict should also be investigated.
My name has never been mentioned in connection with this. Investigations have been carried out, and the International Tribunal judge concluded the case. The judge said Gbagbo should be indicted.
At the present time, Gbagbo's political party, the FPI, is excluded from politics. In this context, how credible is reconciliation?
Whether to take part in elections or not is the prerogative of a political party, and the PFIO decided to boycott the parliamentary elections. Look at this in the context of France. Marine Le Pen is not in parliament, neither is Mr. Mélenchon, but that doesn't mean parliament is any less legitimate.
Soro brushes aside any suggestion he may have future presidential ambitions. The Ivorian politician's off to Brussels, tasked with strengthening links between the French-speaking world, damaged when his country was engulfed in discord.
Palestinians are calling for an investigation into the death of former Palestinian Authority Chairman Yasser Arafat. Laboratory analysis of Arafat's clothing revealed high levels of polonium-210, raising fears he was poisoned. Some Palestinians are pointing fingers at Israel for the death of Arafat. Meanwhile, Nabil Abu Rubeina, spokesman of Palestinian president, suggests the body will be exhumed for autopsy. We have more in this report.
Was former Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat poisoned? A Swiss laboratory examined Arafat's clothing provided by his widow, Sua Arafat, as part of a program for the news network Al Jazeera. In the lab's analysis, they found high levels of polonium-210 on Arafat's belongings.
What contained the most activity was the underwear of Mr. Arafat, his Russian hat when he arrived in Paris, or when he left Ramallah, and his toothbrush. His toothbrush contained more radioactivity than the rest of the environment.
Yasser Arafat's widow refused to allow an autopsy on her deceased husband on November 11, 2004, when he died in a military hospital in France. But now she wants to shed light on the cause of his death, which has never been determined.
I want to ask to exhume the body of my husband. I think this is my responsibility as a mother, as a wife, and as a partner of this great man for 20 years. And this is my message to the Palestinian Authority, that they have to cooperate.
Tunisia and Palestinian leaders are asking the Arab League to help in opening an international investigation. The Palestinian Liberation Authority has agreed to exhume Arafat's body at the request of the family. Arafat's body is now in a mausoleum in Ramallah.
As long as there are no...
To sports where football bosses have finally approved the use of goal line technology, and it may become known as Lampard's Law after FIFA President Sepp Blatter admitted it was the England midfielder's disallowed goal at the 2010 World Cup that sparked the sport's biggest rule change for 20 years. On Thursday, the green light was given for both Hawkeye and ref systems, which determine when the ball has crossed the goal line. It's set to end years of controversy.
You could trace the call for technology in football back to this famously controversial goal at the 1966 World Cup final. It was awarded to England, even though some dispute to this day whether or not the ball crossed the line. Fast forward to the 2010 World Cup, and this time England didn't get the decision, even though modern television coverage showed Frank Lampard's shot was in.
It's a no-brainer that we need goal line technology. I can say that more than anyone from the World Cup.
The outrage that followed Lampard's disallowed goal was a major factor in FIFA President Sepp Blatter's decision to reverse his stance on the issue. Shortly after the Lampard incident, testing of goal line technology began, with two systems emerging as the leading candidates, one based on cameras, the other on magnetic fields.
It's specialised cameras that are fixed in, I think, 7 different positions for each half, so 14 cameras is part of what we're looking at. And it's a system that effectively simulates what's going on, and then that creates an absolute certain image of where that ball is or isn't at any given time.
Cricket umpires have been referring their decisions to technology for more than a decade. Tennis, baseball, American football, Aussie rules and hockey all review decisions using some form of simulated or instant replays.
The puck completely crosses the line, hits the camera inside the net, we have a good goal.
All referees welcome goal line technology. There's nothing worse than driving home from a game which is all about scoring a goal, and a goal has been scored, and generally through no fault of your own, you haven't seen it.
Still, the debate in association football has endured, with UEFA President Michel Platini remaining a staunch opponent.
I would like that FIFA will try one day to prove to have one referee in the center and 4 assistant referee around, because we need to help the referees to take the decision, but not with technology.
Some sports that have introduced technology end up using it for more and more decisions. In cricket, it was initially used only to determine batsmen have been run out, but it's now used to review any uncertain dismissal in front of the wicket. Football bosses say that won't happen in this case.
Currently, we're only talking about goal line technology, and the reason we talk about goal line technology is because it's a matter of fact. The ball either crosses the goal line or it doesn't. All other video technologies then come to a matter of opinion. Was it a penalty? Wasn't it a penalty? Should somebody been sent off? Should somebody have not been sent off?
While most fans may well welcome football's embrace of technology,